Welcome to the Advancing Entrepreneur. This show is all about surrounding yourself for success. Hear stories of building traction, gaining acceleration, and creating results from successful entrepreneurs who have surrounded themselves with other successful entrepreneurs. And now, here's your host, Annette Nightingale James.
Hello, Advancing Entrepreneurs. Annette Nightingale James here, host of the Advancing Entrepreneur Show, where we help you get traction, acceleration, and results in your business. You've caught us today right in the middle of one of our signature implementation series, where we talk about taking a concept that one of our guests shared with us and we show you how to implement it into your business. This week, we're talking about advancing your implementation, how to take immediate action and implement great ideas into your business. This, of course, was brought to us by our most recent guest episode, Willie Mayette, who shared with us that the key is immediate implementation. And if you go back just 2 episodes ago and you listen to our interview with Willie, you're going to hear him talk about how he takes one idea that he gets at any business conference he goes to, and he tries to implement something before he leaves the conference. And that is how he ensures that he immediately and successfully implements ideas into his business. So today we are continuing on with our series here. And yesterday we covered the one thing. If you've missed it, it's a really great episode based on an excellent book that I recently read. And I want you to go back and really think about what is the one thing that you can be working on your business today that's going to help advance your business forward. But for more details on that, I need you to go back and listen to that episode, okay? Today, we're going to be talking about the sticky note solution. Tomorrow is daily rituals, and then we'll finish the series off with to implement or not to implement. That is the question. So today, we're going to be focusing on that sticky note solution. Now, before I jump into that, I want to remind you that if you go to iamadvancing.com, you hit up implement in the search bar, you are going to be able to download all the slides that we have from this entire series and take notes as we go. So you can be sure to implement advancing your implementation into your business as well. All right, are you ready for the sticky note solution? Let's go ahead and jump on in. Now, the sticky note solution is actually based on the stories about Charles Schwab. So if you're not familiar, you haven't heard the story before, even if you have, sit back and relax for a minute because I am going to read it to you. About 100 years ago, Charles Schwab was president of Bethlehem Steel and wanted to increase his own efficiency and of the efficiency of the management team at the steel company. Ivy Lee, a well-known efficiency expert at the time, approached Mr. Schwab and made a proposition Charles Schwab could not refuse. Ivy Lee said, "I can increase your people's efficiency and your sales if you will allow me to spend 15 minutes with each of your executives." Charles Schwab said, "How much will it cost me?" Ivy Lee said, "Nothing unless it works. After 3 months, you can send me a check for whatever you feel it's worth to you." Charles Schwab answered, "It's a deal." The following day, Ivy Lee met with Charles Schwab's managing executives, spending only 10 minutes with each in order to tell them, "I want you to promise me that for the next 90 days, before leaving your office at the end of the day, you will make a list of the 6 most important things you have to do the next day and number them in the order of their importance." The executives were astounded. "That's it?" they said. "That's it," Ivy Lee said. "Scratch off one item after finishing it and then go on to the next one on your list. If something doesn't get done, put it on the following day's list." So Mary Kay Ash from Mary Kay Cosmetics actually used this exact same method in her business. And I've even heard, although I cannot yet confirm it, that it's been implemented on presidential campaigns as well. Each Bethlehem executive consented to follow Lee's instructions, and 3 months later, Schwab studied the results and was so pleased that he sent Lee a check for $35,000. Now, the significance of that is that about that time in history, the average U.S. worker every day was only making about $2 a day. So you can appreciate that $35,000 was a significant sum of money. But Charles Schwab saw extreme value in being able to focus and limit yourself to the important things that needed to be done the next day. Something that's missing from this story here, but I've heard it retold other places, is that once you've listed the things for the day, you actually take and you put them in order of importance as well. So that is what I call the sticky note solution, because the sticky note solution can, when you have just a couple of things, it can fit on the size of a sticky note. Okay, so the idea is that I'm actually going to encourage you to do 5 things. And that is because I follow the rule of 5 that you can hear quite a few people talking about. John Maxwell is one of them. And, when the story went in, everything was in half dozens. So back in those days, they did 6, but I'm going to encourage you to actually focus down even more. And every day, just take 5 things. Well, why 5? Well, the rule of 5 can actually be found in a bunch of places in business. One of them is the story that John Maxwell likes to tell, which is always really impactful to the audience that I'm speaking to. So I wanted to be sure to share it with you today. So imagine that you have a tree in your yard, and the tree is in the way and it needs to be cut down. And just imagine that it's a pretty good sized tree. Okay. Well, the whole concept behind the rule of 5 is that if you took just 5 swings of an axe at it every day, eventually that tree would come down. It wouldn't matter how large the tree was, and it wouldn't matter how stubborn a tree was, and it wouldn't matter anything except that if you were consistently taking 5 swings at it every day with an axe, that tree would be coming down. Instead, we have this tendency to kind of look at the tree and have the tree surveyed and try to decide if I knock the tree over, is it going to fall on my house, or is it going to fall on my neighbor's house, or my yard, or my neighbor's yard? And, we talk to our mom about the tree. We talk to our neighbor about the tree. We call our best friend. We might post a picture of the tree on Facebook. We tend to do anything but actually get to work. But when we finally decide to get to work, we go to Home Depot. We, research axes before we even get in the car. We go to Home Depot. We start looking at axe. We touch it. We feel it. We decide which one feels the best. Then we go across the street to Lowe's to see if it's, maybe 30 cents cheaper across the street. And then we decide we're pretty tired and we probably just should wait till tomorrow to work on the tree. When our energy is really high and we're feeling really good. And so the next day we get up and we are gung-ho, man. We are going to go to town on that tree. We are going to get this baby knocked out. It doesn't need to take forever. We're just going to go take care of business. And we go out and we go to work on that tree. We are swinging at that tree all day long, and we are on it and on it and on it and on it. And about 3/4 of the way through the day, we are exhausted and with no progress to be told. And since the tree is still standing, we give up. And we look around and we tell our mom and we tell our best friend and we tell our neighbor and we put it on Facebook. See, I knew that tree was never going to come down anyway. When the truth of the matter is if instead of spending all the time preparing to prepare to take the tree down and then trying to get it all done at one time in one sitting, if we had just taken 5 swings a day at that same tree, eventually that tree would have come down. No matter what size, how big, or where it was located, any tree will come down eventually if you take 5 swings at an axe. That is the rule of 5, and that's why I want you to use 5 in your business. The rule of 5 can also be demonstrated by the people that you hang out with. Now, most of us have heard what the Jim Rohn quote, that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with. And that is because it's a matter of a rule of averages. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, please go back to last week's episodes and listen to part 1 of Advancing Your Inner Circle, where I dive into that quote, if it's really true, and how to use it in your business. And there is a measure of truth to it, not maybe in the way that you're thinking though. So think about how the 5 people that you intentionally surround yourself with matters. Think about if you had 5 things on your to-do list, or if you were to take 5 swings of an axe. So the way I want you to implement the sticky note solution into your business is I want you to make a top 5 list every night or first thing in the morning, whatever one works better for you. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about daily rituals and habits, and you're going to kind of we're going to dive into why it doesn't matter if you do it the night before or the morning of. But just make sure that you are the one setting your priorities. And we're going to talk about that a little bit tomorrow too. But take 5 things that you need to get done and think back to yesterday's episode when we talked about what's the one thing that you can be working on that's going to move your business forward. So maybe these are 5 action steps within that project, but make sure that you, within the one thing that will move your business forward, what are the top 5 things that you can get done, and then put them in order of importance. As you go through the day, mark off what you managed to accomplish so that you can see some rhythm and some momentum building. Then when the day is over or your work time has ended, make another top 5 list for the next work day. So the idea is to get into a habit and routine of this, which we're going to talk a lot more about that tomorrow. That, my friend, is the sticky note solution. Simple solutions can have a massive impact on your business, so don't write this off. Just did what Charles Schwab did and try it out for 90 days and see if it makes a difference in your business. Okay? So that was part 2, the sticky note solution. Tomorrow is going to be so good. I'm really excited for that episode. That is all about daily rituals. Right now, I want you to go and head on over to iamadvancing.com. Hit up implement into the search bar so that you can be sure to get all the slides and the notes that accompany this entire series. Because tomorrow we're going to have some great insights and killer quotes that you definitely are going to want to keep and hang on to. So now is a great time for you to go ahead and get the notes and slides sent right over to you. Go to iamadvancing.com and make sure that you hit the join our community button while you're there so that we can add you to our Facebook community of other advancing entrepreneurs and keep you surrounded for success. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Advancing Entrepreneur. If you enjoyed it, leave us a rating and review. Not only will it make our day, you'll also be helping others find this show and advance their own careers. Once you're done, be sure to head on over to iamadvancing.com and join our community to learn what it takes to be an advancing entrepreneur and surround yourself for success. Thanks again, and get ready to advance.